is the better performing mic? I'm just trying to think that I want you to have the better performing one. They seem to be doing the same. Because sometimes it's me and my sound stuff.
Yeah. My name is G40. I'm come from Watford. G40, what are you, bro? G14. Let's see with this, bro. Mate, you see this?
We need to do it. We need to do it. Benga.
Bam. Do it like this one too.
Benga has.
Wait, one sec, before you go.
Hold on. If you're saying something.
I'm not gonna do this.
No. I'm gonna go before you go.
You can't let them ruin it.
Can we just no, not camera. But can we just understand? There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people here that destroy you in the boxing and the body sparring.
In the body sparring.
Yeah, and there's the number one.
Huh?
And that is the number one.
Let's fucking go me and you.
Destroy you.
Let's go me and you.
These two are always at. Do you two
It's this
always
guy.
argue?
It's this guy.
Look.
You're gonna get surprised one day. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Yeah. But you never went. Let's go now. You never said that because you know the score.
See,
Don't forget that little jab that I just went to you and you went. You didn't even blink. So that you understand the speed. The speed kills.
we like this. This is a real Angel Fernandez. This is what he's really like when he's always. Why are you in fact, sorry, October Red Boxing. Here with the lovely Angel Fernandez. Welcome. This is the first time you've been on? Because you're always running from me, actually.
Really? No.
It is?
No, it's not. I think I've done interviews with you before.
Not with me.
Really? I have to start getting used to this.
You're going to have to, if you're in the spotlight.
Yes.
So, apart from getting threatened by Benga and insulted by Fraser, how are you?
Well, I'm good, I'm not good. Yeah.
Should we do the not good first? Why are you not good?
Do you know why?
I want you to tell me why.
You asked me the question and I shall respond.
Tell me.
Yeah.
I would like you to tell me why you're not feeling good. I like to have honest conversations, innit?
Obviously, you know, like the big fight, the whole team, the effort, that everyone puts into it, and it's quite harsh, just not to get the result, that everyone was hoping. But at the end of the day, it's one of these things that you have to look into things, and we wish we could have made these things better by next week. But this is boxing, and all we have to do is just look what's next and the things that we have to make better.
Reflection, hindsight, it's a wonderful thing, isn't it? I think we've talked about that fight, but you're there, you're part of the team. One of them that's been there, from Ruiz to?
Yeah.
So you've been around for quite a while. I'd say that you know Joshua quite well.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy for me to sit on this side of the fence and say shoulda, coulda, woulda. I watched the fight. I watched it with commentary and everything turned off because I was doing a watch along. I was doing a watch along on YouTube with the Undefeated podcast, who I do some work with now and again. And my personal opinion is that AJ did a lot better in this one than he did the last one. But I thought he wasn't going to go out and box again. But he went out and boxed again. The plan to me, and please correct me if I'm wrong, was to get inside, to box, to get inside, to hurt. Are you all right to talk about what the plan was?
Yeah, obviously the plan was just like using our attributes, use the distance, pushing back, control the center of the ring, definitely going to the body. But at the end of the day, you could plan so many things, but when you have a man in front of you and how you're going to do this, how you're going to do that, you could go and say, oh, let's work on a jab. The jab is going to be key tonight. But what if you start getting counted? So you could say so many things from the corner. You could say so many things like sitting back, but it's easy said than done. again, you have to think about not just like one plan. You have to think about 2, 3, and 4,
Yeah.
because it's quite easy to go and say, okay, Anthony, let's go the first 6 rounds, go at him, just like try and knock him out. But what if after that 6th round he's still there? So you have to think about these things. You have to think about these things. You have to go to the fighter and say, how do you feel doing this? It's not just like what the coach says. You have to also understand what the fighter is thinking. How is he thinking? How you're going to give that confidence that, listen, if you go 6 rounds full on and you completely gas yourself and the guy's still standing there, how mentally damaged that would do to a fighter? Because if you go on that 9th round, he put a lot of effort, he spent a lot of energy, and we told him to go on round 10. Usyk was hurt, he's damaged, got on top of him, but at the end of the day, it was that man that came out strong somehow. So that is just like a great example, just to see how things in boxing just change from one round to another.
When you look back on the Usyk 1 fight, and you sort of you understand it, you sort of like get a feel for what he's like as a boxer. He's active, continuously up and down, from foot to foot, left to right,
offensively,
changing
defensively,
yeah. And he sort of, when you throw shots at Usyk, he's a parry and a counter.
Yeah.
He's a parry and a counter kind of person, still by moving all around the place. When it comes to like drills and training, like going into, because obviously I weren't there when AJ's trained. So what kind of drills were you putting him through? Because Usyk never changed his style.
Yeah, no.
He just boxes how he boxes, and if you watch his fights, he's quite continuous with that style. So what drills did you put AJ through to possibly adapt and learn about that style, to try and counter it, work to his get rid of his attributes, if that makes sense?
Obviously, just like, yes, lots of drills, lots of sparring, lots of technical sparring as well. Back rock drills, pad drills, with the sparring partner. We done so many things, but I could go so much into detail on the things that we done. But
I know you're quite methodical.
At the end of the day, we lost the fight. That's what I'm taking away from the fight. I don't, look at, yes, there were improvements, but the way I see things is like we could have done better. And the first person that I put pressure on is onto myself, and me as a coach, I should also done better,
And when you say you should have done better, how? Because the only thing I will say with the coach is, when AJ was coming back in, because I turned the commentary up when I've watched the fight probably about 4 times now, and then I heard the corner say you're winning, and I thought, he's not winning that round. Yeah. That's the only thing that I'd say. Why was he being told that he was winning when some of he wasn't? They were close. Don't get me wrong, they were close. Yeah. But he wasn't winning, and that's for the 4 rounds. I can't say what happened after that. I can't remember after that.
Obviously, I think I remember at the end of round 2, I think I said like that was a good round.
Yeah, I'll give him round 2.
That's what I said. Each fighter is different. Each fighter, sometimes you have to motivate them. Sometimes you have to be harsh on them. Sometimes you have to kind of like bring somebody else in their family just to bring that spike into them. And some fighters, you might have to tell them, listen, you're winning this, keep doing this, just to keep him engaged in the fight, As I said, watching the fight from the sofa, there is no pressure, You don't know the man. You don't know what he likes to be told, what he doesn't like to be told. I could go to Fraser and say, like, be harsh. I could go to Richard and just, like, motivate him round after round. I could go to Kieran and say, like, honest truth. Them things might not work with Anthony. I might go to him and say, like, listen, you lost a round, and I could bring him mentally and completely physically down, and then the next round he'll go and you go, shit. So you have to understand, like, the fighter. That's how I would say. And people put too much effort and attention into, they told him that he was ahead. I don't know who told him that. Honestly, in the moment, I didn't even heard that myself. But at the end of the day, if the fight would end at the end of round 9, we would have won the fight. So I think people put too much attention into like small little things. My takeaway from that fight is we could have done better in between rounds. Yes, 100%. Of course, we could have done better. The information could have, because yes, of course, it could have been better. Because there is always like way to improve in any matter. But my takeaway from that fight is we lost the fight in the last 3 rounds. That's my takeaway.
And I respect that, and the fact that you come in here talking about it and being so like honest about it and real about it is, what the viewers want to hear. Whether they agree with you or not, it doesn't matter. Like you said, you're the one that's there. You're the one that's in the corner. But I'm a boxing fan. You've allowed me into your gym, which I'm grateful for. I have got a bias towards your fighters. I'm not ashamed to admit that. But when you were saying about every fighter reacts differently, I get it. They're like children. Some different behaviours work with different children, and some people, they work better, they thrive off praise, where, say, I'm the one that would work better off being told, you're rubbish, get out there and do something hard. That's the type of person that I am. But the consequence of possibly, and this is what I want to just ask you as a human being, do you think the consequence of probably telling him he was doing better than he did resulted, and this is just my opinion, you can tell me to piss off, in that outburst of the shock when the results were drawn that he didn't win? Do you think that may have contributed to it? And now that's me asking as a fan.
Yeah. Obviously, it could have done. That I think is more a question to Anthony himself.
Yeah. I'd love to get him on. I'd love to get him on and ask him. Yeah. Pass the message on.
But as I said previously, listen, in camp, I could go to Fraser or to Rich, and after sparring I go, that is shit. And I could go and say the same thing to Anthony. So each fighter will react completely different. Some will just go down, and then the next day they're really not there mentally, they're really not there physically, and you go, whoa, what have I said? So you have to understand it's a lot of mental work. It's not physical, and just put these guys through drills, put these guys through like sparring and do the runs. I wish it could have been easy like that. Is you got to understand the person, you got to understand what you're doing each day, you got to understand what they're thinking, what they're not thinking. One day they could put a really good sparring, but they go, oh, but I done a good sparring, but I got counted by this, I was not happy with this. It's a constant thing that you have to be talking about these things, and this is not a week work. This is like, we have been in Lovecraft from like pretty much January time, day in, day out, and 5 weeks in Saudi as well. So yeah,
the sacrifices, the pressure, it is what it is. Whatever's happened, I know you're one of these that stays solid, that you've always been there since you started training, Joshua. And I would ask you about the various things that Robert Garcia said with other channels, but you can't speak for him. So I think it's pointless touching on that. So I won't even touch over that. People can speak to him if they want his opinion. I just wanted your thoughts. And in hindsight, yes, there's room for improvement. There would have been room for improvement if he won as well.
Yeah.
Did he lose badly? No. I mean, a lot of us were saying, I speak to members, all of us boxing fans, and we said, if he does lose, as long as it's not a bad loss, like the first time where he was completely outboxed, then he's still putting a good effort. What did you think when he said what he said after the fight? What were your thoughts on that? Because I've got my opinion, but I don't know. You know him, so what did you think?
Obviously, I know there is a lot of comments, a lot of opinions from people that, they should have saved him, from doing this, from doing that. At the end of the day, he's a human being like him, like myself, and like all these boxing fans, all these people that watch boxing, they have never been in a situation where this man has pressure since day one. Since he won that Olympic gold, he had pressure. When he lost against Ruiz first time, people weren't even talking about Ruiz, and Ruiz was the actual champion. They were talking about Anthony. Anthony could go and find now a number 50 in the world, and they will be talking about Anthony. They will be talking about any other person. Even in this fight, they still think they were still talking about Anthony, when the true reality is Usyk was the champion. You know, so you got to I have to understand the man, and it just. I just saw a reaction that I have never seen, and I'm sure neither of the people that have been with him from day one, you know, and who goes onto that big man and just like take the microphone away from him on that
Yeah, good
particular
luck to
time.
them.
Yeah, it's just like
Because it might not have been the
easy said
belts
and
that
done.
got thrown out the ring. It might have been them as
easy
well.
said and done, but it's just one of these things, you know.
Yeah. Obviously, I watched that, like I said, afterwards, because I was setting up to do a post-fight breakdown, excuse the pun, and I saw, obviously, his reaction, and I get it because of what you said, because of the pressure. And I remember when I spoke to, I think it was Ade and David Alorca, we spoke about this fight, and I said even if AJ wins, they'll try and find an excuse why Usyk lost.
Yeah.
Because the pressure is all with the spotlight.
People would have said, "Oh, he should have beat him first time." That's how it would have been.
But I think it's easy, and like I said, coming from a boxing fan's point of view, it's easy for us to sit here on the outside and have our opinions, rightly or wrongly, common opinions or not.
Oh, everyone is entitled to opinion, you know.
Yeah, it is, but it's a very, very fickle sport. And I just wanted to obviously touch base with you about that, because obviously you were there, and thank you for being so honest.
Yeah, I didn't realize, like, first time, you know, I just realized when he came towards the corner, you know, and he started talking about the belts and he threw the belts. That's when I realized, I'll go, whoa, what's going on here, you know. And then he just went to the opposite corner, and it's just one of these things that it was in the moment, you know. A lot of people are kind of like putting a lot of emphasis in, oh, he said this, he said that. All I'm saying is like, that can happen to anybody. He's a human being at the end of the day, you know, like human being like anyone. And a human being with a lot of pressure, you know, and he wanted that fight so bad. So
yeah, we saw that by his reaction.
When you hear, so when you hear the result and you go, wow, you know, so it's understandable. Then you could go and like on and on and on that, oh, was he wrong? Was he right? Listen, it was in the moment, you know. People will forget about this, because anything that Anthony does, good or bad, it carries on over the weeks, you know. So we respect the people's opinions, you know. We don't look at what people said or doesn't say. All we have to do is just like focus on ourselves, you know, and stay united as a team, you know, reflect, you know. But we reflect on a win, and we also reflect even more after the loss. So, you know, as I said previously to you, you know, I wish I could get things better, you know, let's say this weekend if we would have fight, but this is boxing, this is not football or any other sport, you know, that you have like that week just to make things better. But, you know, let's hope by next fight, you know, that you see more improvements, and we're working towards, you know, and Anthony Joshua become 3 times heavyweight champion of the world.
And that's the correct mindset to have. So we've covered the sad bit, we've gone over that, and like I said, I really appreciate your thoughts on it. But we're going to talk about why you're happy, and it's got nothing to do with your Saudi suntan.
I'm trying to be always happy, so that's that's how I am. I wasn't happy, you know. Obviously, you know, I just got back from Spain, you know, just like I haven't seen my mom and dad for like nearly 4 years, you know, because of the COVID and the restrictions in Spain. Yeah, so yeah. I'm that happy. I just like flew here for Fraser's fight. You know, I'm flying back on Sunday just to spend a bit more time with them. And they're the ones they understand me. I wanted that fight, just not for me. Not even for the team. I just wanted this fight, just like for ages. Just like to put that respect on his name. But more than anything, it's just like to go to my mom and dad, because Spain is not a big country, for boxing, and you say that this was for you guys, this is who I'm your son, and this is what I done, just like coming out from a little town to be training a heavyweight champ, but it wasn't this time, but I trust God's plan, and hopefully, we will become 3 times, and I could go over to them and say, look, this is what I done.
It's funny that you say that because, in time, like you said, you haven't seen your parents for such a long time. Yes, COVID, etc., where the world stood still. But it's times like these when you actually realise, and I don't say realise because you know it anyway. Both of my parents are dead, so that no, it is what it is. So that comfort, when you can go home, and it's sort of like that's where you get that their cream, because they know their son, and they're like, it's good that you can do that, that you can go back home, because I know the shit that you get online. I've had to defend a few times myself, so I get
Thank
it.
you.
But it's nice that you can actually just have that break, go and chill out with mom and dad, and say.
That was for me was like a good, clear mind. It's not boxing.
It's home.
Just like home, just relax, see your friends. Spend time with them, go for walks. That's the good things in life. I don't need people opinions. About if I'm a good coach or I'm not a good coach. People can say whatever they want. Day to day. At the end of the day, is time will tell if I done good things for boxing or not. I'm just working on my path, and I hope that in years to come, in 10, 20, 30 years, people will say because of Angel, and to the work that he did, he inspired me to be who I am today. So this is what I want, and this is my takeaway that I want from boxing, as well as building, world champions, because for me, just to, as I said, just go to my parents. That's all it matters. People opinions can say whatever, but if it would be down to people, I wouldn't be what I am today. And I am here because of my mom and dad. For the things that I've seen since I was a kid. And I'm a fighter inside and out, and I'll keep fighting. This time was not the time, but we'll come back and we'll come back stronger.
It's all about the mindset.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? There's so much more to boxing. I like to say that a common phrase is what it takes, because there's so much more to it. But Fraser's night tonight, you're here, you've come back in for that. What did you think of Fraser's last performance? His lovely knockout. When you weren't there, he was with the Prestige Paving Burton.
What did I thought of the last performance, Fraser?
Your Really?
Yeah. I'm never happy with myself, because it is always room for improvements, Obviously, was a bit cautious because of the injury in his hand, which is understandable. Obviously, a lot of people are putting a lot of pressure on him as well, because the Olympic bronze and, the experience in the WSB.
Yeah, I know he gets a lot of pressure.
And he's 30 and blah, blah, blah. But listen, he wants to move fast, but I am the one that don't want that. So if people wants to criticize someone, criticize me, don't criticize him, because I'm the one that wants to take things slow. I'm the one that kind of want to work with him on a day-to-day, made improvements, and him as a fighter, he'll fight anybody tomorrow, but that is down to me. At the end of the day, is my fighter, and I have to look at things and what's best for him, even sometimes he doesn't understand what's in my mind, but for me, I see it as a house, and in my views, the picture that I have of him, is not where I would like him to be. So all we're doing, just like myself and Jay, is just like, putting the work, making improvements, and hopefully by year 2 or 3, we get to see a more established professional, because we haven't even been a year together. So I want to take things slow. The public wants to rush him. He wants to rush as well. So all these people that are making like comments or slashing him off, like, just like do that to me, because I'm the one that making these things not happening.
Yeah, I think probably a couple of lessons learned from this, but I'm kind of like that anyway. People are gonna say whatever anyway, so just carry on doing
Yeah.
what you're doing. Listen, I think this is gonna probably cut out as it does after 30 minutes. Angel, it is a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much once again for being a guest. We'll talk again anyway.
Of course.
This is the first of many
Yes.
where I got you to myself. Yeah, it was Robert that I spoke to, not you.
Robert.
Yeah, it was Garcia that I spoke to, not you.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Yeah, because you was like hiding around the corner. But I know I'll be coming up to your gym soon, because obviously
Yeah.
Richard's going to be getting prepared for some big fights as well.
Yeah, towards the end of
He's
the year.
quite keen. He's talking about going up to heavyweight, but we can discuss that at another time.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like,
He's
first he
keen.
has to speak to me.
He's keen. He'd like to. He didn't say
Yeah,
any. He was sort of
yeah.
just talking about career
Yeah,
progression.
yeah.
That he wants to go up to heavyweight. So that'd be interesting.
Yeah, and then we go. So Kieran, in October, up in Galway, in his hometown. I look forward to that. So yeah, and then hopefully AJ by the end of the year again. So busy last few months, of the end of the year, and I hope we all come back here. We all come like victorious, and we end the year in a good way to start the new year strong.
Absolutely. October Red Boxing.
Thank you so much for your time.
Angel Fernandez. Until the next time. Next week. Who knows?
Sure. Who knows?
Thank you. Hi, and thank you for watching October Red Boxing. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. You can also find us on Instagram at October Red Boxing and on Twitter, October Red UK. And remember, at October Red, we stay ready.